When looking to minimize overtime in your outlet, the overtime report will key you into which team members are approaching weekly overtime. This will give you insight as to which team members you should consider letting off early or which team members you should consider calling in for last minute shift coverage so that way you reduce your overtime burden. Let's build out the report generator. First, select the appropriate business. Next, let's pick yesterday as our date range so we can get an accurate view of how close our team is to hitting weekly overtime as of yesterday. Next, we can view labor data for all job classes or departments, or simply highlight just one job class, such as prep cook. Set any overtime hour boundaries as necessary and click go. Now, as we scroll down, we're able to view all employees across this prep cook job class and how close each team member is to hitting weekly overtime. Sort by week-to-date overtime hours to see which team members have already incurred overtime expense for your outlet. If you have the flexibility to do so, you may want to consider adjusting these team members' schedules and have them not come in for the rest of the week. Looking at Faustino, for example, he has already hit his weekly overtime and has incurred over 7 hours of overtime expense so far. If we have the flexibility, look into removing him from the schedule for the rest of the week or avoid calling him in for additional shift coverage. Let's look at this report from a different angle. If you have a last-minute event get booked on property, or if you have a few team members call out sick, sort by hours to overtime so we can see which team members are the most available to be called in for last-minute shift coverage. We would want to ideally call in team members like Annalise or Margarita who have the most hours left until they reach weekly overtime. Calling in team members like this will allow you to avoid unnecessary overtime expense and better control your staffing. Schedule this email to send to yourself and other outlet managers a couple of days before the end of the pay period, so that way you can make any necessary adjustments to your staffing and be prepared to close out the work week on a strong note. In this example, the business's work week starts on a Monday, so I'd ideally like to receive this report on a Friday right before the weekend so I can make any necessary adjustments to my schedule.